Good afternoon to the Titans and to the Terrans and to the Martians and these people of Sirius, people of Aldebaran and all the rest. So we have finally reached like a very important point, a ring experiment, even though it will certainly not be the first one. We had many ring experiments during the last 4 or 5 months. But I mean, each time we are getting better, and of course, this time we will have many new things to boast, and I will actually speak about it right now. Just before that, I will speak about something that maybe you will less be inclined to hear, but I really need. I feel like I need to say it. I mean, you know that for a long time now, since 2019, I understand that people around me are like, as they say in Hebrew, puchlatzim, like taxidermies, like living taxidermies. They just mouses that, people like tell them what to say and they say it. And this is very annoying, and I feel alienated to humanity because of that. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, even like as a monk, you interact with people. And these people are mostly like taxidermies. And it took me a lot of time to understand, like, what's the most annoying thing that I found with these taxidermies, because it's actually surprising, because it's not something that you think about like immediately. It took me some time to understand what's so annoying, and I'll tell you what it is. Many times I quickly understood their ploys, like what they want to achieve, like what's the purpose of the theater, and like what they want to achieve for me, because not because I'm that smart, but because they repeat themselves all the time, like for years upon years. It's more and more of the same. That's the way it is, and it's still like that. So, very quickly you find yourself in a situation that you say, okay, I've been in this movie already, as they say in Hebrew. So, and you understand what they want from you, and of course, you will never give it to them. Apart from, in the beginning, there was, 3 years ago, something like that, there was several situations that I actually played with the theater because I wanted to achieve, to learn stuff. But, overall, they don't get what they want. And what I find the most uncanny or the most dehumanizing is the fact that when you show your cars and you show you exhibit something that from that it's obvious that you did not fall to the trap and you're not giving to them what they want and the whole theater has failed. They show no disappointment at all. Very rarely they do, but almost always they don't show any disappointment. And this is not because they are such good actors that never break role. They break their role many times. It's because they genuinely do not feel disappointed. And this was so weird. Maybe it was it sounds like from a egotistical point of view that I was always it's me against the Shabak or me against the Mossad, like David and Goliath, and I thought so and when I showed the winning card, I wanted the opponent to submit, to say, oh wow, we couldn't fool you this time, we'll try again tomorrow, the same hour, same place. And they never do it, but it's not only that. This is something much deeper. It's not only that you want your enemy, so to say, to concede. It's just that it's so unnatural. They can participate in show all day or maybe several days, and when it's all come to dust, they are not disappointed at all, and they are generally it's not a play. They don't care, because they don't care at all. They are genuinely mouses and tongues. They do not care what's the purpose of the show, and they certainly don't care if it will succeed. It will succeed. If it failed, it's not their fault, and they just speak. They're just the records, so they are not happy if it's the operation is succeeded, and they are not unhappy if it fails, because it's for them it's none of their business at all. They are here only just to operate their mouths. That's all. And this is so, it's so anti to everything that I feel myself, whenever I am in any kind of a job, and God knows that I also I didn't like all my jobs, and many times I was in conflict with the nature of the job, but always I was super patriotic. I always conduct, I always do my tasks, I am the CEO of the company, and it's all it's mine, and I'm working on my business, even though it was never the case. I was always a salary person, but it's just my nature, to be involved in things that I do. And so my nature is to be involved. it characterized me like since I was a child and in the military and in all the jobs that I mean I was like a hired, and this is kind of what you see with those people is that like in anti-involvement. They speak, but they don't care at all what's coming out of their own mouths, and they certainly don't care about the circumstances. And this is extremely alienating and even fearsome. Okay, so quickly we'll speak about like what we have now. So again, we're going to create the ring experiment. First of all, as a lesson, as I told you, it's better to have like 3 models instead of 2. Even two are enough, and even many times one is enough sometimes. But I don't want to get into communication lesson. But 3 is like I mean, it's better because I mean you use 2 electrolysis like rods, and in this specific container that I'll show you in a bit, they're going to be like long ones, like big ones, and so I want something big to contrast it, because otherwise they can say, okay, so both like the rods and the rings would be hanging from above, and of course I don't want the object to be the rods. I spoke about it in the past, so it will be so this is another way to put 3 and like to hang them from above. So it will be those 3 big ones. Just I mean, just a second. Yes, you see it's quite big. They are quite big. I made them yesterday, but another thing that I need to do is to paint the actual rings in gold, because I can have I don't have acrylic gold colors, but I can paint. I can use the pearl. I have pearl medium and with a specific like shades of yellow that I actually have, and ochre. You get quite a nice gold. If you want an example, this is an example of a golden Nero. I don't know if it's actually realistic, but it's a nice golden Nero. So it will be something like that. I mean, this will be the gold, and acrylic is drying very fast, so it will be ready pretty soon. So this will be our models, and now for the actual container. So we will have a very big problem with heat. I know that from experiment, so we need to take care of that. So this will be this will be used. We have a plastic here, pretty big one, with ice and water will be filled up to here. It's not the normal container that I use. I used this one, which is the lid actually. It's much smaller. Now I'll use the actual container. It will not be filled to the brim, of course. It will be filled only very shallow, because I want now to use like almost just the the Nero juice that I prepared today and yesterday. I mean the concentrated Nero juice, and maybe I will add a little bit of the famous brown goo that you like so much, just for like a good measure. But it will be mostly that, and I'll even try to refine it. So it will be. I already refined it. I removed like solids because I want it to be as clear as possible, because I want the electrolysis to be very, very successful. And if my estimations are correct, it will be like extremely conductive. Now, I'm going to do like a magic trick, but I mean you can believe it or not, but I mean it's not critical, but it's a new magic trick. As you know, there are always 2 containers, and basically the other container is always the one that is lower, because the higher one, the physically higher one is like the main one. There are several uses for the lower one actually. It can be, many times it's just a dud, it's nothing, almost nothing. You just don't put anything. You can even just don't put anything. You can just put the background, and then it will be. It also serves the purpose that I spoke about it in the past. But there are several reasons for the second container or second background. And sometimes you can actually use the second one for actual stuff, to do actual things. It's interesting, but there are also sort of it's a whole Torah Shlema. It's like a whole system that I don't want to get into it right now. For example, I've used the smaller one now to try to create bigger Neros. We're using the enlargement symbol. I've checked it under the microscope, and they look quite big, but I can say that, they're not huge, but they look quite big. It's not like scientifically, I would say, how do you say, mubhak, statistically, significant. But it didn't hurt, the extra treatment with the smaller container. And So what I'm going to do now is to do a trick and to put like the material that I suspect will be needed, like specifically beeswax and chunks and clay chunks. I don't have gold and diamonds inside the second container. So I want like the secondary container Neros, there will also be Neros there to teleport the required material to the big one if they will be needed. Now maybe they already have it because actually it was most of this stuff and many other stuff were contained inside the container that produced the enriched Nero juice. And I mean it's with electrolysis. I mean even without electrolysis, but certainly with electrolysis, I mean for the played for hours. I mean the whole mixture is. I mean the particles just. I mean you cannot really refine the particles. So actually this jar contains a lot of like particles of beeswax and metals and certainly clay, but maybe they will then need extra clay or extra beeswax. It will be teleported from the other container. You can believe it or not, it's not very critical for our purpose. It will be. I will use the larger can because I want now. I mean, even though it will be a shallow like level of liquid, because I really. I mean, I feel heat now, and I want like to have like a spare room for steam. I almost certain that we're gonna see steam because I almost always see steam with I mean electrolysis of like with many Neros, because they're super. I mean they are very conductive, maybe super conductive, like I mean according to the definition, and so it's going to be like there will be issue of temperature certainly, and so and the larger can also allow me to put more ice on the sides. So other than that, so what more? We will use two transformers, the 30 volts and the 5 volts, with four rods or maybe 6 rods, and the other one, the smaller one, that I mean the teleportation one, will also use this transformer of 1 volt, 1 ampere, which is like it's still. I mean, even though it's very very weak, it can still be used to teleport. Presumably, it can teleport like a raw material between adjacent project, or not. Let's see. What more? Okay, so this will be like the roof, where I mean, I don't want to get into it, what's symbolic and practical issues here, but it's a roof that I prepared. And I mean the rings, the gold rings with the diamonds that are made of aluminum will be. By the way, I one of the things that I saw today under the microscope is actually I've seen the microscopic rings. I mean, so they do. They create rings. It wasn't the first time, as I told you before. I mean, even like months ago, I started to see like rings like in the microscopic scale. So yes, they know what's a ring for certain, and they can create it in microscopic scale. But we now want like big ones, and so it will be placed like that. So there will be some kind of air supply, and it will not be entirely like I would say sealed, again to prevent too much heat and pressure. Pressure is a question because I don't know. I'm not sure like what's the effect of pressure. I can tell you that I mean I had several experiments like specifically like today or yesterday they created the Nero juice. I mean so sometimes I mean it was sealed and there was like high pressure, and sometimes there was low pressure, and I mean. Seems to me that pressure doesn't hurt in itself. It's kind of like beneficial for the creation of stuff. That's my hunch, and like based on like just me watching many experiments. But as you know, pressure is, I mean, it's all correlated with heat. So and heat is a problem, as you know. By the way, the problem I think with heat is not necessarily that the Neros die from the heat, but of course they can. I mean, as anything, but I mean everything else. Like I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not. It's never just Neros. I mean, you have the rods, the electrolysis rods, the plastics, the metals. I mean, the water that creates steam. I mean, and everything. Heat as it's characterized by it's difficult to control. I mean, so it's when heat starts to build. I mean, everything is affected by it, and like I mean, the transformers and plastics and melts, and I mean, even like even in your, I mean, in extreme cases, even in your room can get, I mean, catch fire. So that's the problem. And I'm not certain that the most pressing issue is the temperature of the Neros themselves, but everything else. And it can build heat very quickly. And now. And of course, down under we will have the the power plant with 2 electromagnets and permanent magnets. It's a question how much they actually, help. I think they do, because I think that, I totally support the idea of the totem. As you know, I've spoken about it in the past, that, you can put and I've seen, there are many short videos with that demonstrate the concept of totem, that you can actually, put, several, a creation with several, levels, one on top of the other, and they will work in tandem. If you wish to be skeptical about it, again, it's not a critical point, but I believe that it actually works, and I also like to do it artistically, as you say. Maybe you've seen in the videos, to create all sorts of nice totems. But this totem is just the dresser itself. This one is not relevant, but this is these are the electrical motors that we have, and on the top there will be, of course, heat. Fire. Fire on the top. It must be on the top, because otherwise everything will be burned. So, and I've already thought about how to do it. So we have here this tool that I created a while ago, that is used exactly for that purpose. I've already used it today, but upside down, like this. The intention. These are the remnants of candles, of course, with the super B-box and super canola oil that burns much stronger and brighter. This is actually the upside down position. So there is a lot of so it's there is a relatively long distance between the focus of the fire and the top of the floor. Of the container. So it's the safer way. Even though the other one can also actually work, and I've tried it. When it's much closer. I don't have another hand, but just a second. Anyway, upside down, and so that the fire is more contained. It's safe. It's not safer because it's safer that from the perspective that the fire is contained inside the utensil, but it's also closer to the container, which might or might not be a problem. I guess that in our case it will not be a problem, because the container itself is going to be very hot. Anyway, we will use fire as well. Again, in accordance with the paradigm of the totem, and this is something that you've seen quite a bit. So we have magnetism, we have electrolysis, we have magic fire, we have a neo juice. This is specially made and refined. We have the brown goo, which will be used as a bonus material. So I think that we are good to go. But it will take a while, because I need to paint as I said, I want to paint it in gold, the models, and also I want to take a shower and eat something. But I think that in an hour we can start the show. It's going to be interesting, I think. Okay.